Good morning, guys. We are up so early because I'm so happy we're going into Magic Kingdom for the Keys to the Kingdom tour. This has been like a Disney bucket list thing for me forever. And if you guys remember, I did a couple years back with my parents the Marceline to Magic tour, and that was amazing. That was like a 3-hour long tour, and you got to see a bunch of different attractions. You rode with the tour guide and she would give you information about it and everything, different fun facts and stuff, and I learned so much on that tour. And then this one is the Keys to the Kingdom. It's supposed to be even more in depth and everything, and I'm so excited. And Ben, you've never done a tour like this. Never. It's gonna be so much fun. So this was my graduation present from my parents, so thank you. Love you guys. All right, let's go. Oh, and the other thing is, so this is a 5-hour long tour, and they were kind of saying, like, the thing online said that there can be no like filming, no cameras. So because this one you actually go backstage instead of just being in the park and seeing stuff with the tour guide, you get to go backstage. So I'm not sure how much I'll be able to film, but I have my camera with me just in case. We're gonna go with the flow. We're not getting kicked off the tour, but definitely afterwards we will be telling you what our experience was like. And then we're gonna have a fun day in Magic Kingdom. And now Mom and Papa, my aunt, uncle, and my cousins are all here as well. So my parents are gonna come meet us, and then I think at some point the whole family is gonna be hanging out in Magic Kingdom. We just got on the ferry. I have never seen a ferry this empty in my life. Like, there's just a couple people up there. There's like no one back here. This is the coolest thing ever. I remember this from the last time we did a tour. It's like you go into Main Street and there's like such limited crowds and stuff. So our tour starts right at 9, which is when I believe the park opens, but we get to go in, they said, around like 8:45 to check in. So we're gonna get to see that empty Main Street with very few people. I am really excited. And I'm just so excited. This tour is also supposed to be of the utilidors. I cannot wait to see that, to actually go in the utilidors. Like I said, this is just like something I've dreamed about forever, so I'm ready. Here we go. Look at this right now, you guys. We just got in, we checked in for our tour. Well, we at least checked in the main part. Now we're gonna go over to Tony's where they told us to meet. But just look at Main Street right now. There's like very limited people. The only people let in are if you have a tour or one of a early morning dining reservation. So this is amazing to see. It's just so pretty. And if you ever come to Magic Kingdom for an early morning reservation or for a tour, they always say stay to the left-hand side, and they have a separate entrance so that you can get in early to the park and you don't have to wait in the big group of people. If you have your reservation, then you can just go right in. Look at this pumpkin, we're right by the restrooms, and it has like the restroom symbol in it and an arrow pointing to the bathrooms. That's crazy, all the Disney details. Look at them. Oh, I love all the fall decorations and all the Mickey pumpkins. So the first, the 8:30 group just went, and now all of us are waiting here. We are the 9 o'clock group. We're excited. So we're all checked in. We're watching. I think it's like a nickname they call him, was Butch. Ben says he likes the name Butch for a dog. We're watching Lady and the Tramp because we're in the town square. Tony's is right over there. This is so cool to be here this early. I had to peek out because they're doing the welcome show right now. I could hear it from inside. You can't really see it from here, but you can hear it. You can see in there all the people waiting to come in. So empty right now, and in a couple minutes it's like everyone's gonna be running down Main Street. I think the train wasn't there yet. I think it's coming in now. train's about to come in. Here they are. You can see it. I think so. Look, they have the rope up. They're about to drop the rope. Look at all the people waiting. They're counting down. Oh. Here they all come. And that gave me like good chills. Like that was, I don't think I've ever seen the welcome show before ever. I think one time we got here and it was like already going on, like we were getting off the monitor and we could see it from a distance. So I had never seen it. It was cool to see it from like this perspective the first time. That was neat.
They have people going in front of the trolley, making sure that they're going to be able to clear guests when it's time to get here. Because everybody wants that picture with the castle in the background and the train. It is there. The train behind the castle has its own Instagram and Facebook page. Yeah. Classes, dance classes, voice classes on the second floors of buildings. So back here we have our voice and singing lessons. I was a music major in college. This is called Mini Splash Fest. Back here. But yeah, so you have you can't do that, but back here it's not just a place to sit and relax and enjoy your plaza ice cream or your Starbucks. It pulls in that full atmosphere. Flowers. We've got the pumpkins up right now. One thing with our pumpkins is where it's like, oh, they're pumpkins, but look up. The pumpkins, the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, represent whatever business they're above or below or around. Of real life size. So even though that banister right there looks like it's the same size as this one, it's only going to hit me about mid-thigh. It's making it look like it's that much taller. That third floor is built at a 40% perspective. Get that out. And again, it looks smaller, but you're thinking it's because it's that much higher. All of our buildings are only 2 stories. The second floor on all the buildings is functional. We use it for offices, we use it for storerooms, warehouses, conference rooms, different things as well. So those size and location is why we are the size we are and where we are. One of the things that Walt had noticed was that he had guests that were leaving more towards late afternoon, but they weren't staying for the full day because they could see from the monorail or from another attraction that the highway was already starting to back up. And they wanted to get home before it was too congested on the track. So that we can all appreciate and understand. So he decided when he built his next theme park area, he wanted to make that to put that into them. They would literally leave their real lives behind. They would go into a fantasy land, into their story lands. So we did a lot of, by a large portion of land. For various reasons, we ended up here in Central Florida. There's a little bit later. But when we decided to build in Central Florida, they needed that large amount of land. They were willing to pay a fair market value, but it was one of those things that it was known that it was Disney that was coming to Central Florida. So together with Don Tatum, who was at the time their lawyer, later became chairman of Disney, Don Tatum put together some shell companies, basically companies over under one central name that they would go in and they would purchase different tracts of land here in Central Florida. Hello, Miss Poppins. All right, we're going to continue moving on this way. The Crystal Palace itself is, and again, I think coming to Walt Disney World since 1971, and never realized this until I was on a trip. When you look at the Crystal Palace, we're going to pause for a moment. Take a look at the Crystal Palace. The left-hand side of the building, which is toward Main Street, USA, has that open veranda, still very Victorian type of garden, the stained glass and all. Beautiful building, yeah, relaxed. The right-hand side of the building, however, now has those canopies over the window. The plants aren't those sculpted garden variety, it's more of a lush overgrown because it is transitioning into Adventureland.
Oh.
Again, one of those things
That's cool how it transitions into...
He's already got his first tour with the day.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to head into Adventureland. Where's the castle?
Back there.
Are you sure? See it? Great. Yeah, the crane kind of defeats that whole purpose right now. It goes down about 7, takes a nap. But yeah, we use, just like we use Town Square Theater to go ahead and hide the Contemporary Resort from Main Street, USA. The castle itself doesn't really fit into Adventureland, so we use the trees to mask the castle. Something, again, you're not going to notice, but it adds into that theming, that set feeling. Amusement parks have the rides, they have shows, they have attractions. The theme park, which is what we are, themes everything from sight and sound, occasionally smell, to where you are. I'm going to head, leaving that music behind us, heading on into Adventureland. Jungle drums going on. Frozen pineapple juice and vanilla soft serve. We used to be able to get it right over here in the Aloha aisle. The Dole Whips were so popular, however, we had lines that were stretching way out to the side, causing a lot of congestion in this area. So what we did is we blocked the Aloha aisle and the Sunshine Tree Terrace, which was at the exit of the Enchanted Tiki Room. This is where you can still get, not the lowest, you get the frozen orange juice and vanilla soft serve swirl, or citrusy orange smoothies. This puts the Dole Whip area back at Aloha aisle in an area that has a lot more rough counter space. It can accommodate a lot more guests. You can get your Dole Whip faster. So that's one of those things we did as a courtesy and as an efficiency here and there as well. Now you can grab your orange one on the way to get the pineapple one. Works out really well.
Good plan. I like that.
I don't know why. I like Mickey bars and Dole Whips. What can I say? They had a project for Disney, Walt Disney, where they worked on landscaping for his magic wand. Walt had a scale model train, and you would drive all around on. And one of the shows, Silver Springs, on that kind of scale model train. And really, it inspired them with these beautiful rose gardens that she wanted. So the brothers had to find a way to make sure that we had the rose gardens, and we had a little area along with the train to where she would not see the train. She would see the rose gardens. With Disney's support, that his brothers had done for the landscape of the backyard, and Walt asked them to go ahead and come on this project he was working on Disney. favorite stories is that when they were first designing all the plants for Disneyland, they brought Bill in, and it was just like pots. There was nothing built yet. He had the plans, and he said, all right, so this is what this is the central area where our class is going to be. From here, we go to different areas. Over here on the right is going to be a place called Adventureland. That is overgrows. We're going to have an educational boat tour called the Jungle Cruise. Over here, we're going to have a Fantasyland area, Frontierland, Shoot 'em Up. Over here on the left is Tomorrowland, which is my vision for the future. Very futuristic, rocket ships and things as well. So Alex is looking at the land. Have you started building anything yet? We're like, well, no, we're just working on a theory. Okay. Would you be willing to switch Adventureland from the right side of the property to the left side, Tomorrowland over to the right side? But Adventureland on the left side of the property, I can go ahead and use a lot of the plants that are already there. Some of them are just use as is, some will turn over, a lot of the roots put down with like a banyan tree. It's going to save you money in the long run, which is where I like to imagine the lawyer was like, yes! Saving on, saving on. So that is how Adventureland and Tomorrowland on the right-hand side. They did go ahead, like I said, there were some trees that they dug up, turned upside down and replanted, so we have these root balls and the roots that are coming up for banyan trees and things coming down. When they went through the property, there's a lot of trees they wanted to keep, but there was a lot of trees that they wanted to get rid of. So they went through, they tied ribbons around those trees. One ribbon that wants to keep, another color ribbon for the ones that they wanted to get rid of. Okay, and the next day, all the trees were gone. How does the those operators line saw red and thought, okay, no. Well, outside the box again, love to build heavens on that. That's you. It's okay. One ribbon or two ribbons next time. They discovered that the city of Los Angeles was expanding on its freeways. So they went to the city and said, you know, so we're really confident in this land if we can keep all the trees that were cleared from it. And it's going to just because the trees were free, we'll go ahead and clear them. It's going to save you money, save us money. So the city was like, sure. Why not? So that's how they got all the trees replanted them over there as well. Well, Disneyland opened a year and a day after they started construction. That's just not much time, especially for growing plants. So they still had patches where the plants had not grown that they wanted to grow to. So what they did is the Letters had to staff go out and look at the different weeds that were out in these patches of area, figure out the Latin name for those weeds. They came back, they printed up placards that had the Latin name for the weed, their genus and the species and all that. They put those placards out in those garden beds, and people were coming and going, look at these amazing, but it was really just a bed of weeds. But because it had a placard and looked good, it must be some sort of exotic. Good work. Later get filled in. Place they were supposed to. But little things like that we did to get
We have our own Jungle Cruise boat with just our tour on it. Look at this. This is so cool.
But here we are on the Jungle Cruise, which was one of the opening day attractions at Disneyland as well as here at Walt Disney World. The natives over here, and every once in a while you'll hear one of them yell something like, I love disco. We're going to take a quick listen and see where they are. And they're fun. I love disco. Like I said, typically it's just a little saying that an Imagineer or somebody's creating something, kind of put their little spin in, kind of their little hidden signature on it. One of my favorite things about this, the backside of the water. I love the backside of the water. It's nice, refreshing, and crucial to the river here. Because up above that waterfall is where we had a dye-in that, as it goes over the waterfall, gets mixed all in, and that's what creates this murky greenish brown color. It's not algae or anything, but it is a created color so that you cannot see the bottomless part of the hippopotamuses, and you can't see the trough that we're going in as well.
On that, there might be noise, but it's not a coordinated, the mouth is opening. It's like for the elephants, the trunks were going, but it wasn't really coordinated with the elephant specifically opening its mouth. It's not a programmed together. The audio-animatronics combines the audio with the animated electronic movement. Breaking it down, an audio-animatronic is genuinely like a human being. Instead of veins and all that inside, they have tubing with hydraulic and pneumatic fluids. Instead of bones, they have some sort of skeletal substance. It might be a plastic shell or fiberglass or some sort of metal shell. And then it's covered with either rubber latex or some sort of material like a skin. One of our first audio-animatronics that we ever had was our tiki birds that we had going on. And this happened because Walt Disney was on vacation in France with his wife, and he was in a shop and he found this mechanical bird in a cage. It's like you wound it up and it kind of was like, you know, it didn't really, it was pretty, but it was, you know, kind of not really functional. He went to his wife, brought another back and handed it to his team and said, make it alive. And they were like, oh, okay. So they did some tinkering with it and they, you know, got it coordinated up so it would, you know, a little bit smoother wing movement there, and it would actually go, oh, oh. The noise actually went with the mouth, and he was like, this is great. But it's not alive yet. It's missing something. And they were like, what do you mean? It's doing everything it should be doing. He's like, it's not alive. What do you think it was missing? It was making noise, it was moving, but what was it not doing?
Breathing?
No? What?
Breathing?
Breathing. It's not breathing. There was no, and just that little detail of the bird's chest going in and out was what made the difference between him to Walt for a live bird and the tiki and the animator or animatronic. So they put a little bellows inside the bird's chest, and so now it's breathing. But the problem they had is the fabric that they would cover the chest with as it was going in and out. With that breathing, as they were testing it, they realized the fabric was stretching and then wrinkling. So they kept trying different fabrics, different materials to keep that movement alive, but without, you know, wrinkling and stretching out over a very short period of time. Couldn't find anything that worked. Finally, one of the Imagineers was in a meeting with Walt and saw him reach up for something. Realized the sweater that he had on was one she had seen him wear for several years, and asked him, you know, what kind of sweater is that? And I was like, oh, this old cashmere thing Lillian got me years ago. Cashmere does not stretch out. So all of our tiki birds have cashmere vests. So we've got our tiki birds, and they went ahead and they programmed in this enchanted tiki bird dinner show. They were going to open at Disneyland. They built a building and they opened the show, and it was amazing. People could not believe how the Walt Disney Company had obtained and trained all of these live birds to sing together on key. It was the 60s. It's not like today where we're kind of used to that. So they loved the show. It was amazing. However, the problem was it was a dinner show, and people were so enthralled with the show, how lifelike the birds were, they did not want to eat underneath the birds. So the dinner show part was like, so it kind of went away. If you go to Disneyland at the Tiki Bird show there, they do still have some of the furniture, which has the drawers for the silverware and the napkins and all. We decided to open here. Our Enchanted Tiki Bird show was always a show. There was never a dinner theater involved with it, although you can now get a Dole Whip right at the exit. So, but it also was a very crucial safety element here at the Magic Kingdom. Because as you can imagine, in the late 60s, not a lot of thatch roof weavers here in Central Florida. They had to come up with a way to thatch our roofs, make something that's all safe and look real. So they came up with a real little thing. Trying to say how much this. Our thatched roof of aluminum. That's right, the thatch on this one is shredded aluminum.
Oh my goodness.
Making it a very tall lightning rod as well.
Wow.
So it's a really cool thing. So if you're here in the late 60s and had a soda pop or anything, a recyclable can, chances are it ended up here. It's thatch aluminum as they use. Now our roofs that we have in Disney's Animal Kingdom are the actual thatch. But this one we do use aluminum. Looking at it, you would never know. I had no clue. But again, just one of those little fun facts. Moving on into Adventureland. It was in Kansas City, and working for a newspaper there, doing some some little character drawings. Not a lot of animation work to be done in Kansas City, not exactly the animation capital of the world. But he's working for the newspaper, his cartoons are getting in the paper, he's doing some editing, but it's not what he wants to do. So this is when he heads out on a train to California. And in the special that they did earlier this year about the Disneyland anniversary, Helen Mirren said something that really hit home, because a lot of times we hear it started with a man and a mouse. Many of us have heard it started with a man and a mouse. The way they had her describe it was, it started with a man who got off a train, nothing more than a suitcase and a dream. Not a small dream, not a medium-sized dream, but a big dream. And that really is where it started for him. The majority of the stories have it going along the lines of the fact that he was down, and when Disney was down, he would doodle. And he started thinking about those days before he got out to LA, when he was in Kansas City where he had this newspaper office, and a lot of times in the evenings he'd be the only one there because he was doing the final edit or setting, or he was doing some actual cartoons for different editorial type things. And it would be him and this little mouse that would run around the office. So he would talk to the mouse. I can talk to my cat, I understand that. And he started thinking about that little mouse who was back there where he started before. And he just started doodling little ears, little eyes, little whiskers, little mouth. Finished up this little doodle and showed it to his wife and said, I think I'm going to call him Mortimer Mouse. He's our new dog. I like to think that Lillian went, he's adorable, but Mortimer? It's kind of pretentious for a little cute little mouse like that. What about something like Mickey? All right, so we've got Mickey Mouse as a family. There would be stories to be told, adventures to be had. It would just be a wonderful experience. So they started to build Disneyland. He and Roy did the majority of the fundraising themselves. On that, they were paying as they went. That was one of Roy's big adamant facts. Pay as you go, pay as you go. We don't want to build on credit.
Sat down to our lunch. They have reserved this private section of the Tomorrowland's Terrace for us. Going backstage, that was like a life-changing experience for me. Like it was everything. I loved it.
Bits on it is, like I said, we had Mark Davis who wrote a lot of the storyline for this.